So, hello everyone. I came back hours ago from this game of the tournament, and today now I'm participating to a tournament in Vicenza here in Italy, and there are a lot of FIDE Master, International Master, Grandmasters, and a lot of strong people. So I'm on the road to reach 2000 FIDE rating, and today, this afternoon, I played against a candidate national, so he had 2060, something like this, maybe 2057. Sorry, and I was black, he was white. So let's start. He e4, and I went e6, French defense, d4, d5, and he went for knight c3, and I propose win hour, so bishop b4. And here I already played with him at a park here in Padua, and in that game he played e5, and I went to c5, a3, bishop take, pawn takes, knight e7, and he played queen g4, and I went knight f5. So I was hoping for something like that, but I didn't prepare anything. It was the first round. I'm trying also to have some new weapons during the tournaments. So, well, he went knight e2, and this was a surprise. So I just took, and he went a3. And I thought a bit if trading was the right choice. Is the top engine move, but after trade, and let's say even knight c6, I was not feeling so comfortable. I mean, about after bishop g5, because I didn't want to give my bishop right now away right now, even the dark square bishop, really important. So I said, well, it's the first game. Let's just play calm. So bishop e7, he took, knight f6, knight c3. And yeah, I thought this was a bit an inaccuracy, because now in this type of structure, I thought he wanted to go for c4 or something like this. So this knight is stuck in the position, and I thought to play. Well, I played knight d7. That is also an inaccuracy. I didn't know the opening, and he went knight d7 as the idea to play for c5 to gain a bit of space in the position. He went bishop e3 to prevent c5, and here I went knight d5. I was thinking even to capture, but after capture, and knight f3, f6, sorry, I wasn't feeling so comfortable after bishop d3. I thought that castling was a bit too much. I mean, in this position, even with c3, then he has queen f3. I can't play c5. So, and this bishop is stuck in the position. So I didn't want to go for this, and I decided to play knight d5 instead, and knight d2, bishop d2, sorry, and knight f6. And he went bishop d3, bishop d7, with the idea of placing my bishop on c6, because now the c5 push was not available, so I have to find another way to activate my bishop, and I decided to go for this, queen e2. And here I traded because I was a bit scared about ideas like bishop c6 trade. There was not anything. I mean, I could have also placed the bishop on c6, but I don't know. I didn't calculate so well, but it is a reasonable choice. I mean, so knight takes c3, and he traded. Okay, here he traded with the bishop, and if he would have taken with the knight, I would have played bishop c6 anyway. And with the pawn, I was thinking anyway to play bishop c6, and to trade everything first. These two pieces, and then even the queen, and try to play for an endgame, because this structure is not so good, and this pawn is kind of a target. So I thought it was the best option for me. But he took with the bishop, and bishop c6. He went for f3, and I think that practically speaking, this move it created a lot of problems for sure. Because now, if I take, if in some moment I take, I will just reinforce the center. So, and now I don't have the c5 push. I thought that this diagonal could be a bit weak, but I didn't know how to exploit this weakness. And if I try to go knight d5, he will just place the bishop on d2. And now, if I try to castle, I will just help him, because I thought that after c4, his position is super comfortable. Even if the engine says it's equal. I don't know. I don't know. I would take white 100% of the time here. So yeah, so I decided to play queen d7 with the idea that I was hoping for knight c5 to play queen d5, and on something like this, I would have traded, and then place the queen on g5. And after queen g5, now if he wants to move the bishop here, I can move my queen on g6, and then putting pressure to all the his structure. So I was hoping for knight c5 for this reason, but he didn't go for that, and he castled, and now I castled. Yeah, so here I didn't really know what was my plan, because I didn't know how to prevent, how to gain activity. I don't have anything, because I can trade this knight. If I place my knight on d5, he will remove his bishop and then take space. So I couldn't find the solution, and to improvise. He played a rook d1, and I played a rook d8. And plus, I was low on time. I was really low on time. I think that in this position he had something like 30 minutes, and I had 10 minutes, something like that. Probably I miss some counterplay during the opening stage, or at the beginning of the middle game, because it shouldn't go like this. I mean, I should be more active. And yeah, even if the engine is saying that the position, well, I don't see this equality. For me, white can do what they want, and black can do anything. So anyway, queen h1, king h1, and queen e8, and he went for before. And here I thought that his plan is clear. He wants to remove the bishop and play for c4. So I thought here I was already thinking on a draw, and I thought that if the pawn land on c4, I have to trade that pawn and try to block all the position on the d5 square, so this bishop can become active, and my king is kind of safe. But I was super scared, super long time. It was a nightmare. So I started to blitz kind of every move, because I had to uh, equalize in time. And here he went rook e1, and knight d5. So knight d5 has the idea that I want to play bishop knight f4. He went for queen f2, and here I played queen f8, because on knight f4 I was a bit scared of queen g3. Queen g3, because here with idea there are ideas like knight takes, and in the future push this pawn to open this diagonal. But here I can simply move my bishop to blockade that square. But even here, I was a bit scared that even after this move, there was something like this. Here, I can simply play knight takes b2, but anyway, ideas of open the diagonal, and again, I was a long time, not too much time to calculate all the lines and all the tactics. So I went for a safe choice with queen f1, queen f8, and here he played c4, so I took, and here I was kind of happy because now I blockade with the bishop, and my position is kind of safe, and plus he at that point, I think he had something like 10 minutes, and I had 4 minutes. But I regain a lot of, I equalize a lot in the time. So he went bishop d3 to keep the activity, makes sense. And I played a4, a5 with the idea that I want to destabilize a bit this structure, also because this rook is not playing. So if I have the open file or if I trade some pieces, I thought it was easier for me to do this game. And he went bishop b1. I didn't really understand this move, and I trade and played rook b6, rook b8, and here I started to think that I was better. So because this well this bishop is really strong, and even this knight can land here. Well, now he's threatening checkmate, but it's like a one move attack, and so positionally speaking, this diagonal is a bit weak, and these two are a bit loose. So maybe I can put pressure on these pawns, and I started to think that maybe I was better, but I was long time, and he was also long time. So here I played queen d8. I played queen d8 because if I take the pawn, there is a knight. I was looking for knight d7, and well, here I can't take because is mate on the h7 square, and so I should have moved my queen. And after take and take, I didn't want to face this situation. I mean, here I'm better, but I don't know, when you calculate something like this in your head, you kind of exclude the possibility to give away the h7 pawn with check, and even more when you have 2 minutes on the clock. So I just went for queen d8, and on queen d8 he played bishop c3. So I believe this move just to secure all my weaknesses. So no tricks, nothing. He went knight d3, and I played c6 just to secure this pawn. I wanted to gain time and thinking on a plan because I don't know really well how to put pressure on this pawn. He went again bishop c5, and I went knight e8 because this knight is not doing anything. This knight from f6 can't go on the g4 and neither on the e4 square, and on the h5 is not doing anything. And I didn't really want to trade this knight. With knight d7 because I don't want to rebuild his structure. So yeah, so I thought that 98 was a good choice to go on d6, and then to decide if b5 or c4 was better. And he played queen e2. I went knight d6, and on bishop e4 he offered me a draw, and I accepted because he had 2 minutes, and I also had 2 minutes. Uh, I have to say that I'm not practicing so much in the last period. For working, I started this channel that I really enjoy this channel. But yeah, with the work and the stuff, I don't have so much time to practice and to study. So yeah, so I agreed to a draw because I thought it was a good result for the first game of the first tournament after 1 month and a half. I thought it was a good result. Maybe I could have pushed a bit more. Well, if I had if I would have had 20 minutes, but even 10, I would have not agreed for a draw because well, I can see that I'm better even with knight b5, but I think even knight c4 is fine. And I know that I'm better because this bishop is kind of dead. And well, if he wants to go for some plan like this, I always have my bishop, and these two pawns are isolated. So positionally, I knew that I was better. But with 2 minutes and yeah, with 2 minutes the first day, I can always blunder. Well, also he can blunder, but I want to blunder and to throw this game. So I'm happy with draw the first game. And nothing, some consideration for sure. I have to play faster because there was one point in which he had like 25 minutes and I had 4 minutes. I think I started to think a lot around this position. I thought a lot about castling because I didn't want to long castle. I wanted to attack, but if I long castle after before his attack is too fast. So I spent it a lot of times, a lot of time because after short castle, I didn't really know what was my play, but I had to do a choice, and I did it. So yeah, in this position, we started to separate in time. We before this we had 1 hour each one, and after this move, I started to think a bit more, and I lost a lot of time. So yeah, the first thing for tomorrow is play faster, play faster, because it's also a pity to and I mean the position is super interesting. It's a pity to not play this position because I am low in time. So yeah, this is the good purpose for tomorrow. Well, this was the game of today. I hope you enjoy. If you want to let me know what you think, you can write a comment, leave a like, or in general, if you want to support the channel, you can subscribe. I will do other things. Now I think that the rounds for tomorrow morning will be out. I think they are already out, so I will check my opponent and prepare something against him. So I hope you enjoy. See you in the next video.